Hi there, this is Mr. Jones, and I'd like to help explain to you negative exponents. Okay, now remember, the exponent is the number that's placed slightly above and to the right of a number which is called the base, and it's generally smaller than the base. And it tells the number of times that the base is used as a factor. Right, so if I have 10 to the third power, that means 10 times 10 times 10, 3 factors of 10. Right, and notice with 10 as the base, when you raise 10 to the third power, the answer has 3 zeros in it, 1,000. 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. So the exponent, when I'm using 10 as the base, also tells me the number of zeros in the number. 10 to the second is 10 times 10, and that's equal to 100. 10 to the first is 10. Right? Notice what happens every time the exponent decreases by 1. The number decreases by a factor of 1/10. So in other words, 1/10 times 1,000 is equal to 100. 1/10 times 100 is equal to 10. So if I follow that same progression, 3, 2, 1, 10 to the 0, I would expect to be 1/10 of 10. 1/10 of 10 is 1. And that's exactly what 10 to the 0 is. 10 to the 0 is 1. In fact, we define x raised to the 0 power as 1 as long as x itself is not 0. Okay, so any variable or number raised to the 0 power is going to equal 1. Okay, well, notice 10 to the minus 1, I've decreased the exponent by 1. I would expect to be 1/10 of 1, and that's exactly what it is. It's 1 over 10. And I can write that as a decimal as 0.1, but remember that as a fraction, 10 to the minus 1 is equal to 1 over 10. Well, why don't you go ahead then and see if you can fill in what you expect 10 to the minus 2 and 10 to the minus 3 to equal, and when you think you have it, hit continue. Okay, well, let's see how you did. I would expect 10 to the minus 2 to be 1/10 of 1/10, or 1 over 10 times 10, which is 1 over 100, and as a decimal, 0.01. 10 to the minus 3 would be 1 over 10 to the third, which is 1 over 1,000, and that's 0.001. Okay, so that leads us to a rule for exponents. Notice the relationship. A negative exponent can be written as positive when it's moved to the denominator of a fraction. Okay, and that's the rule for negative exponents. For any non-zero number a, so a itself is not 0, and for an exponent that's an integer, a whole number, positive or negative, right, a to the minus n is equal to 1 over a to the n. So 8 to the minus 5 is 1 over 8 to the 5th. Okay, so let's look at the examples below. Simplify each. X to the minus 3. When I simplify it, I write it without negative exponents, and that's going to be 1 over x to the third. Okay? 2 and 3 are numbers raised to negative exponents, so when you simplify those, you can take the number and multiply it out and leave no exponents in your answer. So why don't you try, first of all, to do numbers 2 and 3, make the exponents positive, and then simplify it so that the expression doesn't have exponents in the answer. And when you're finished, hit continue. Okay, well, let's see how you did. 4 to the minus 4 is going to be 1 over 4 to the fourth, and that's 1 over 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, well, 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64, times 4 is 256. So 1 over 256. Right? And number 3, 2 to the minus 5th is 1 over 2 to the 5th. 2 to the 5th is 2 times itself 5 times, and that's 32. So 1 over 32. Okay, well, I hope you came up with those answers, and if you did, then it must have been my teaching that led you to understand the process. Okay, so take what you've seen here and continue the process. Work carefully. Work well.